the story that changed MrBallen's life forever. Yo, and YouTube Frogs dropping in after the fact, by the way. If you guys want to watch this video without my commentary, feel free to click on the first link in the description. The second one is my Twitch channel. If you want to come through and hang out with us, that'd be awesome. And if you hang out for this whole video, or you're just, you know, doing it now, feel free to drop a like and a sub. All right, let's get into this, dude.
TikTok was becoming a thing right around the time that I was like, okay, I'm done posting about SEAL stuff. I'm giving it up. I'm going to get like a job at, you know, Panera until I figure out what I'm going to do. But I noticed that TikTok was becoming a thing. It's the beginning of the pandemic. And I was like, well, there's probably not any SEALs on there. You know, it's probably just like kids doing dances. And then so I went on TikTok and kind of like, I remember I had on my computer, I had these documents, these Google documents that I learned how to use by this point.
Nice.
And I had this one sheet that had like all these ideas for like types of content I could do, and not just for TikTok, but for anything. And it was all like kind of rooted in the military, obviously, or like, you know, patriotism. It was like all kind of stuff that was in the world of military-ish stuff. And then I had this other document that had a single word on it that I always wanted to cover this one, but I couldn't do it. It was like so random and off the wall. I was like, what are people going to think if I do that one? And it just said Dyatlov. Dyatlov standing for the very famous Dyatlov Pass. Are you familiar with the Dyatlov Pass story? Okay, well, when I tell you what I did with it, I'll tell you the story. Okay. And so I remember I've deleted all my content, the military content, and I've just built this brand new TikTok account. And it wasn't literally my first post. It was actually after several very cringy, like I'm doing like all the trends with the kids.
Oh, no.
Dude, it's so bad.
It's like, like things are popping up.
Yeah, dude. I was doing all that stuff, and I'd like watch it and be like, "This is this
that
good?
Was it getting views?
Yeah.
No.
That's even worse.
Can we find?
I was just like an adult, like doing these like totally lame like kid stuff.
Like this one.
The worst one.
Oh, bro. I remember 2020 TikTok. I remember being on 2020, like, streamer, content creator TikTok. Oh, bro. The, like, pointing to it and the, like, doing the, like, I'm whatever. Like, oh, bro, it was quite a time. I remember I made so many cringy TikToks of, like, pretending to be, like, chatters and stuff. And, like, to be fair, I still want to make some videos like that. But at the time, it was, like, I made them so cringy. Like, if I look at those, dude.
The worst one I did was there was a trend where it was like you do the auto-tune voice and you like kind of half sing a story in auto-tune. It's so cringy.
No.
I can't even replicate it now. But I was doing all this horrible stuff. But finally it was kind of like, well, you know, I tried TikTok. It's not really working. And I remember I opened my computer and I happened to have these two Google Docs up. The one of like my exhausted list of like failed content types. And then the one that was just like, it's like unsolved mysteries. And then my one topic was Dyatlov. And I was like, you know what, whatever. I'll tell the Dyatlov Pass story. And so the story goes, and this is what I told in a 60-second burst on TikTok. In the 1950s,
Bro, that was the thing about TikTok back in the day, by the way, is it was just 60 seconds. Like now if you're telling like an interesting story, you can make those things like, what, like 10 minutes long now? Back in the day, it was 60 seconds. That was the hard cutoff. No more.
TikTok. In the 1950s, there were these hikers, these incredibly talented hikers. There was 9 of them that were going to take what's called their level 3 hiking test, which sounds like nothing. But in the world of hiking in Russia at the time, these are the guys. These are like the professional hikers, okay? These are the people that can like scale Mount Everest. And to get your level 3 is like a really big deal. At the time, in the 1950s, they didn't have cell phones or anything, so in order for them to take the test to prove their level 3, they needed to go through a fairly treacherous route up into the Ural Mountains, which are covered in snow, very icy and steep. But they can't talk to these hikers while they're out there. And so the team that puts on the level 3 test, they organize these checkpoints throughout this stretch in the Ural Mountains that are spaced apart by like several miles. And it's just like random hikers in camps. And at certain intervals, they would have to reach these checkpoints in order to not only be accounted for, but to prove they're going the way they're supposed to be going. And so these 9 young, super athletic, super happy, and this is also very well documented. It was all filmed. There's loads of pictures. They're haunting, by the way. These 9 hikers, they take off and they begin this journey into the Ural Mountains, and they reach their first checkpoint, I believe, and then they reached this mountain pass, And a lot of this stuff is speculation, but it's believed they reached the foot of this mountain, and everything's snow. There's nothing. It's like this wide open snowy canvas, and there's this huge mountain that's covered in snow, and there's a storm coming, and it was late enough in the day where they either had to sprint basically to get up and over the ridge to be safe on the other side, or they had to wait for the next day for the storm to pass. Because if they began going up this mountain, where they did need to go eventually, and the storm hit or it got too dark, they'd be completely like wide open. There's no trees, there's nothing stopping them. Like, you never want to be on an open face of a mountain in the middle of a storm. And so they believe that the group, remember, these are highly skilled hikers. These are like the best. They decided to make the journey up this mountain, and they stopped halfway. They picked the most exposed spot ever. And so the assumption is they gambled wrong, they had nowhere to go, and so they pitched their camp, these little crappy tents, in the middle of this mountain, and they weathered the most horrific snowstorm ever. But at some point in the middle of the snowstorm, the hikers were broken up into, I think, 3 different tents. This is based on what they found. They cut their tents open from the inside, and they left.
I was going to say, I thought it was this story, bro. I think I heard this story before MrBallen. Like, I'm pretty sure I remember this TikTok. I mean, maybe not this one in particular. I'm sure he probably, like, retold it at some point. But, yeah, I remember this story. It is insane, bro.
Like 75% of their clothes folded neatly inside of their tents. And then they walked out of their tent in a group, almost in a line.
Oh, wait, maybe not this one. Wait, maybe not this one. Hold on.
Walked down the mountain where there was this gaggle of trees. I guess you could call it a forest. It was more like crops of trees. And we don't know what they did down there, but 3 of their bodies were found up in the trees, like naked and like up on the tree. And there were all these scratch marks on the base of the tree to indicate like they had maybe even tried to go up in this tree to hide from something that was trying to attack them. Then the
Yo, what's up, Symphonies?
footsteps continued about a half mile down, like parallel with the mountain, to this cave where they found the rest of the hikers, and all of them were deceased. But the ones in the cave, they had exchanged clothing. So like the men were wearing the women's clothes, women were wearing the men's clothes, and several of them had pieces of their face. They looked like they had been bitten off, like lips, nose, ears, and some of them were radioactive, like their skin was radioactive, their clothes.
Or maybe they had crazy sex. Yeah, they had crazy sex with a ghoul from Fallout, and that's why they're radioactive. I think that's what it is. Yo, Symphonies, what's up, dude? How's it going, brother? I still can't believe Potassium made that my fucking emote. Oh my god, bro.
Are radioactive, and so they're all dead. And so there's just no clue what happened to them. At the same time, the Russian military was doing an exercise in the Ural Mountains, and that night, one of the senior people of this military command noticed overhead there were all these strange lights, which coincided with where these hikers were, like these really, think UFOs, basically. All these lights over the mountain, and he actually called it in that he thought there was potentially another military unit, like potentially an enemy, like operating in the Ural Mountains. And it was officially documented that there were these unidentified objects floating around the area where this all happened. And so when they found out that these hikers were all found dead and there was this sighting, the Soviet government, they investigated, and then their conclusion was an unknown, unnatural force killed them. Case closed. And they didn't give any more information about it. It was immediately swept under the rug, and no one was allowed to investigate it. It was literally kept under like lock and seal. And then they reinvestigated it, ironically, like literally in 2020, and they think that perhaps an ice shelf had like broken off and killed some of them, and then like extreme hypothermia could have led them to act a certain way. Yeah. But like it doesn't explain the radioactivity, it doesn't explain the lights in the sky. There's a lot of things that go unanswered. And so it ends up being this like fascinating unsolved mystery that's kind of stood the test of time. And I told that in a 60-second version with the pictures included. The pictures of the tents are totally bizarre. It looks like they folded up half their clothes and left them in their tent, cut it open, and then walked off. But so I was at this indoor water park in Pennsylvania with my kids, and I shot this little TikTok video with no format. I just kind of did a 60-second version. And since we're going to be in the water park where it's wet, naturally, I wasn't going to bring my phone. So I post this TikTok, and I leave my phone in my room, and then I go with my kids, my wife, down to the water park. We're having fun. And I come back and my phone is like practically broken. It's got so many notifications popping up on it. The video that I posted had like, 5 million views in like literally a couple of hours. And everything I'd posted to that point had never gotten even like 1,000 or 2,000 views. And so it was like mega virality. And like all of a sudden, and it was like I've always been so fascinated with like strange, dark, and mysterious tales. And like that story in particular always interested me. And
Dude, that's so cool. He literally popped off on like the thing that he was like probably like his entire life he was like thinking like, oh, this really interests me. Too bad like I can't like do something with this, because he probably already knew about like a ton of these stories, That's so cool, bro. What a cool inspiring story. He literally, like you were saying, he has one thing on his like he has like, probably like lists and pages of ideas for like all the other stuff that he was doing at the time that was not working, and then he had the one thing, and he was like, fuck it. I'm gonna make a 60-second TikTok about this and have the photos included, and then drop that bad boy, dude. 5 million, by the way, is crazy. That is insane.
And so I was like, oh my God, like this is the coolest thing ever. It has nothing to do with like being
passion.
a Navy SEAL. It's something that I'm really
Darkoon, what's up, bro? Welcome in, homie.
interested in. And I was like, dude, I'll do more of these. And so I like enacted this like really insane schedule of I posted 3 stories like that one a day for 30 days, which was, it sounds like nothing, but putting together a 60-second, dude, it's a beast.
Yeah.
Yes, but it grew my TikTok account to like 1 million followers in 30 days. And at the time, I was very likely one of the very few creators that was not doing just kind of typical trendy stuff on TikTok. You could make the case that I was one of the first big storytellers on there, and it just gave me like first mover advantage in a big way. Like TikTok's reaching out to me, and like I got my partner and my manager, and like they're all like, oh, post more content, we'll promote it. And like the account just went huge. It got to like 7 or 8 million followers really quickly. And then I was doing a live stream on TikTok. I was doing that a bunch. And I guess I brandished a weapon. That's what they told me. The algorithm said I brandished a weapon. I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know how that came up, but it gave me like a 7-day ban. It was the first time from starting TikTok that I couldn't post anything. And I decided that I would shift to YouTube because it's a monetized platform, it's stable, and I've wanted to do longer form content. And so I moved to YouTube, and I posted a video that's actually my own personal like ghost story. I have exactly one.
I watched it, bro. Also, yeah, dude. I have literally been banned on TikTok more than 100 times for saying things like balls or dick or whatever, or like being like, dude, shut up, when somebody's like, you have no friends, you're worthless. You're never going to make anything of yourself. I'm trying to defend myself. They're like, oh yeah, you're harassing and bullying someone by telling them to shut up. Crazy shit, dude.
And it's barely edited. I literally sat in this room in my house that has the worst acoustics imaginable. It's this yellow, awful back. My walls are all like mustard yellow.
Dude, why does he look? Is it because his hair's shorter?
Acoustics imaginable. It's this yellow.
Why does he look so much younger here, dude? Less beard? What is it? Why does he look? I mean, I guess this was like a while ago, but like.
My walls are all like mustard yellow. You can like.
Is it because the camera quality's low? It's because he doesn't have the mustache. That's what it is. He doesn't have the mustache.
Lawnmowers outside, and it's like unedited. I'm just like sending this story, and it went massively viral on YouTube. And it wasn't because of TikTok, because there was no one going over. This was like YouTube algorithm. You posted something and it went viral. And I think that was probably the moment. And also based on comments, a lot of people were like, "Who is this dude? Like, what is this?
Who the fuck is this guy?"
And that was probably when I realized, like, okay, the way that I tell stories works for the social media gods, for the algorithm gods, and that probably was when I was like, all right, full send, just do this.
The way that I incredibly, amazingly, insanely tell stories, dude. Sorry, I got distracted by the thumbnail or the title and the thumbnail.
No.
For the next video. Yo, shout out Iced Coffee Hour. Shout out MrBallen. That is so sick, dude. That is so sick. Like, him uploading, though, 3 videos a day for 30 days is insane, bro. he must have spent so much time doing research for that. Maybe he used the 411 book some, because I know that was a lot of what he did on YouTube. But yeah, dude. I remember I found him, it had to have been a really long time ago, because I was still living in the house I grew up in. So that probably would have been, that would have been at the latest early 2021 when I found him. But he definitely had, he did have a jump start on, the storytelling, but he's just so good at telling stories, and he finds such good stories and knows so many good stories. Again, his storytelling's amazing. Dude has, obviously he already has enough money to never work again, but, he could do all sorts of different stuff. Dude, it's a lot better dark. It's still hurting a little bit, but today I was like, all right, I'm going to put headphones on, see how it does, see what's going on. And so far, it's felt good. I haven't even had to take pain medicine yet. I took pain medicine when I woke up, but not again yet. So, yeah. It wasn't just a single story. It was the 3 to 5 uploads a week. MrBallen's upload rate used to be unmatched. Oh, yeah. He used to upload a lot on YouTube. The way those two are just locked in is a perfect example of why we love MrBallen. He is absolutely captivating. Yeah, dude. He really is. MrBallen is the guy you'd go to for some scary, mysterious stories. The way he tells the stories is very soothing and very detailed. It's very much like sitting around a campfire and someone telling a story that sucks you in. Yeah, dude. I think I need to just start listening to MrBallen 3 or 4 times a week, and then start trying to retell stories like he does it, and then maybe I could get just a little slither of how good he does storytelling. Oh, yeah, dude, I put the headphones on for Josh's birthday. Happy birthday again to that motherfucker. Isn't it funny how a person can just fall into something that they never would have thought would be their strength? Storytelling really isn't easy. Holding someone's attention while you just tell them a story is rarely done well. He's just brilliant at it. And he's accurate. He doesn't embellish things. He just tells the truth of what happened. What a wonderful, successful job to have. I wish I could do it. Yeah, bro, that is really real. I feel like everything that has been even slightly successful for me in life is shit that I just absolutely did not plan, but I took a chance on, streaming. I literally was telling the story the other night. My home, I had been doing YouTube, and then my homie streamed one time, and I got really interested, and I was like, wait, I can do this successfully. And then I started learning about Twitch streaming and stuff, because I was trying to give him tips and stuff. I was like, bro, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this, you should do that. And then he wasn't doing any of it. So I was like, all right, fine, I'm gonna do it myself, bro. I'm gonna do it myself. And then I went and I did it myself. And that's how I got 5 or 6 average viewers. And then any of the games, Among Us, Call of Duty Zombies, Roblox, what else hit? Something else hit recently. Anyways, those 3 games, all just taking a random chance on. Did not think they were going to do as well as they did on the Twitch channel, which boosted me to have highs on this channel. And then even this React content / trying stuff out on this new YouTube channel, the Christian TG92 TV channel. YouTube Shorts even. Both of those things I did not plan to be as big or as useful as they were, but they are. They have done well, and it's sick. Concert photography. I wasn't even trying to do concert photography. I just took photos at a show one time, and I really liked doing it, and then I started doing that. And then, Minecraft YouTube diddler reacts popped off. Yeah, dude, exactly. Yeah. This house. Literally was not looking to buy a house. I literally just was like, yeah, I'd really like a house, and then this place was available. I wouldn't have bought it. Yeah, bro, all the really great things in my life. My relationship, I wasn't expecting that to go down the way that it did, work out, everything worked good there, and it did. I don't know. I think that's one of the beautiful things in life is a lot of the times you don't expect the next step a lot of the times, and when you go for it and give whatever it is that you're thinking about a try, a lot of the times it won't work out, but some of the times it will, and those couple of times will be some of the best things that you've done in your life or some of your favorite moments,